No matter what age your child is, you want the best for their future. What do they want to do after graduation? What career path do they want to take? These questions can be overwhelming. That's why you should ask them this question. What's your E? Seminole County Public Schools ePathway program is designed for your student to choose their own path in life from as many options as we can offer. Whether they're looking to enlist, enroll, or be employed, we're excited to help you and your child make it happen. Want them to enroll in a college or university? We'll help you find the best school for them to continue their education. Learn about grants and programs to help your child obtain their degree at a pace and a cost that works for you both. Are they looking to go straight into employment? Discover a variety of trades and skills that will propel their future. They can learn aviation maintenance, automotive repair, culinary arts, and more to hone their talents in growing industries. Is your child interested in enlistment? We'll help them find the right path of service, whether it's military, law enforcement, fire response, or EMS. They can serve the community while learning skills that will last a lifetime. What's your E? Explore options with ePathways by visiting us online at the link below.
Mr. Cortez, he's a bright young man. When I first met him, he was kind of timid, but I've grown to learn more about him, the struggles that he's been through, the transformation that he's been through in the last 5 months is incredible. I'm actually really proud of him and what he's gone through and how he's changing through my program.
I joined JROTC by accident. My guidance counselor suggested it. I didn't want to do it at all, but had to do it. I plan on just joining a semester, and I ended up loving the course, the instructors, every one of my friends that I've made here in JROTC, and my whole high school life is just surrounded basically on JROTC.
Cadet Cortez, like I said earlier, he's a lot like some of the students who come in here. He does have a lot of natural leadership ability. I think ROTC gave him an opportunity to use that in a course, in a class with students of his peers. And because of that, he's had a very good rapport with other students, extremely beneficial. It's a great leadership opportunity for him. It's also a great leadership opportunity for people around him to see how he acts, how he takes care of himself and other people. And the leadership that he does, he gets into a common ground with these students and explains how things should be done. They look at him, they don't look at him as he's any different, they just look like he's doing it better. So he's leading by example, which is a perfect example of what we want for students here in ROTC.
Well, before JROTC, I was kind of bad kid, rebellious, didn't listen to my parents. I didn't want to really be in school. Joining to ROTC, the instructors taught me discipline. They taught me how to be a better version of myself. And throughout the years, I did become a better version of myself. Became more respectful towards elders or peers around me. I became more aware of other people's feelings, as well as how to deal with certain emotions of mine and how to lead overall.
And he started to excel, and he started hanging around with the right group of people who helped him excel. And in the end, he took his natural leadership ability, accentuated it, and became a leader inside the Air Force Junior ROTC program.
So I also wanted to join the Marine Corps because my dad is ill and he has many kids, and I know that it will be a struggle for him to pay for all that college tuition for us, and I just want to help him out. So I know that the military helps with schooling, and I just know that I want to make him proud. I want to make him proud that he has an excellent son and that I will succeed. So I think that joining the military and being able to succeed throughout not only military but university as well will be very excellent for myself and for my family.
Your make-believe island. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the school board meeting for June 20th, 2023. Tonight, I guess I should let the record reflect that all school board members are here. Member Davis, Member Garrick, Member Pennick, Vice Chair Sanchez, and myself, as well as School Board Attorney Cole Palmer, Superintendent Beeman, and Board Clerk Jill. Thank you. Tonight I have the invocation, and it would be my pleasure to introduce Dr. Lindsay Williams. If you would come up to the podium, please. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lindsay Williams. I'm the Performing Arts Curriculum Specialist for Seminole County, and I wanted to give you some information. The Seminole County Summer Musical Theater Program is presenting Phantom of the Opera at Lake Mary Auditorium. It opens this Friday, so June 23, 24, 25, and then again the week after Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is June 30, July 1 and 2. Member Krause asked if we could have one of our amazing Seminole County musicians sing for us tonight, and I happened to be able to acquire Emma Goldschlager, who's a rising senior at Lake Mary High School, who is actually starring as Christine in Phantom of the Opera, and she will be singing the national anthem for us tonight. Please welcome Emma.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Emma, that was beautiful. Thank you. You do not need to stay for the whole meeting, but please get your tickets for Phantom. Yes. Everybody, she's phenomenal. Thank you. This evening, the roll call order will be Vice Chair Sanchez, Member Pennick, Member Davis, Member Garrick, and then myself. Superintendent, do we have recognitions?
Want to do the...
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. We're going to do agenda acknowledgements first. Seminole County Council, any PTA members? No. I see Representative Plasinka's staff member is here, I see several teachers, principals. Welcome, everybody. We're glad you're here. Superintendent, do you have any agenda modifications?
The addendum for good cause is marked on our electronic agenda by a green flag named addendum.
Thank you. Board members, do you have any agenda modifications? Vice Chair Sanchez?
No modifications, thank you.
Member Penick?
No, ma'am.
Member Davis?
No.
Member Garrick?
No modifications.
And I have no modifications. Thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Superintendent, do we have any presentations this evening?
Yes, we'll start with our Veteran of the Month, Ms. Triplett, introduced by Amy Elwood.
It is my pleasure to introduce this month's Veteran of the Month, Ms. Jacqueline Triplett. Jacqueline graduated from U.S. Army Basic Training in August of 2002. She served as a motor transport operator for the Florida Army National Guard for 14 years. She served in the 124th Infantry Battalion, 53rd Brigade here in Florida. She supported numerous state and federal operations, such as the 2004 hurricanes and the 2012 Republican National Convention. She earned an Army Accommodation Medal and Florida State Active Duty Ribbon during her time for several active duty missions within the state. She joined the United States military because she loves the values and basic principles that this country stands for and continues to fight for. She has worked for the Student Support Services Department since 2018, and we are so very grateful for that. And she serves as our accounting specialist. Thank you, Jackie.
Good evening, school board members and superintendent. It is my pleasure to introduce our new coordinator of Sci-High, Miss Angela Daniel. Having received her bachelor's degree in English from Rollins College, Angela Daniel began her teaching career in Seminole County in 2008, teaching English at Lyman High School. Eventually, she transitioned to teaching with Seminole County Virtual School as one of its founding educators. After a brief hiatus from SCPS, Angela returned in 2018 to Seminole County's XQ school, Sci-High. Once again, as a pioneer for educational innovation, Angela served as an English teacher, instructional strategist, and college and career specialist during her tenure at Sci-High. As she neared the completion of her degree in educational leadership from Harvard University in 2021, Angela accepted an opportunity to serve as a professional development designer for MIT, but remained a trusted dividend and collaborator with the students and staff of Sci-High. In this full circle moment, she now returns to Sci-High to serve as the program's coordinator, a role for which she is destined to thrive. And with her this evening, we have her spouse, Robert Daniel, and also we have current and former Sci-High staff. We have Dr. Lamara Santana, Tammy Ortiz, and her former supervisor, Mr. Derek Jensen. So congratulations to Angela Daniel.
Good evening, school board members and Superintendent Beeman. It is with great excitement that I announce the new assistant principal at Millwood Middle School, Mr. Bo Bruin. Mr. Bruin completed a bachelor's in 2000 at the University of Florida, where he studied English and history. In 2011, he graduated with a Master's of Arts in English Language Arts Education from the University of Central Florida. He returned to UCF to pursue a specialist degree in educational leadership, which he completed in 2021. In the fall, Mr. Bruin will begin working on his doctorate in methodology, measurement, and analysis. He has worked at Millway Middle School for the past 12 years, and that time he has served as a language arts teacher for grades 6th, 7th, and 8th, a literacy coach, and in school administration manager. Joining him this evening is his wife, Catherine Bruin, Principal Jim Kubis, and Assistant Principal Elizabeth Darcy.
Superintendent, do we have a presentation?
Yes, we do. We have our ESE team here to talk about career planning for students with disabilities, led by Dr. Shores and team. So we'll turn it over to you, Dr. Shores.
Thank you.
There you are. I'm on. Okay, good evening. Thank you so much, board members and Superintendent Beeman, for having us here today. I'm Dr. Shores. I'm the director of ESE for the school district, and I have Miss Felicia Naidu, one of my area administrators, who is our transition guru. She will be talking with us tonight about all things transition. We also have one of our amazing current high school students and one of our CTE teachers who we've had the pleasure of working with this summer. We'll tell you more about that. So in planning, this is a hot clicker tonight. So for our students with disabilities, in secondary transition planning, we are required as a school district to engage in providing transition services through a transition IEP. That's a requirement under IDEA. Some of the things that we do in order to plan for those transition services, we have transition assessments with our students' ESE case managers. We do lots of data collection on IEP goals to help us decide what are some things we need to work on, some things we need to adjust. We also use our I-Series data from courses that students take in our middle schools as a way to inform that decision making. We also this year rolled out a transition roadmap to help really fine-tune that skill work. And then we work with vocational rehab courses and formal assessments, as well as strategic course selection, to really get the best whole child picture that we can to help our individuals with disabilities plan for what they want to do when they exit high school and leave us. We start that planning very early on, actually at the age of 11 or 12. And so this is a continuous conversation that occurs for even our 5th grade students, but certainly in middle and high school. And the goal is always, what is that goal, so that we can build things into that IEP and that plan to help support our students. So one big piece of this is that beginning in 2014, as a state, we allow for deferment of graduation. So students are able to really meet all those graduation requirements, just like all of our other students, receive that standard diploma, but if there's a specific reason that they need to stay on our campuses and do some additional skill work in job skills, in some of our like CTE courses, collegiate high school program courses that we may have, a student can defer receipt of their standard diploma in order to take time to do those things after they've technically graduated. So we're gonna talk to you a little bit about kind of how that works. So here's a continuum of transition services that we work through across all of our high schools. So for our 9th graders, this really begins with career prep. So we've been talking about this since students are 12, moving into middle school, taking those I-Series courses, and really trying to understand what students want to do, so that then when they're in 9th and 10th grade in career prep, we can have those plans in place and think about, okay, do we need to work on hands-on job skills, or is it more career planning and college post-secondary planning? And really thinking about students who are a typical high school student who you don't really have maybe significant academic deficits and you're on our regular standards. You're not necessarily going to participate in career prep, but you will plan some things with your ESE teachers through those transition assessments. But then our career prep students need time in their school day in order to work on those targeted skills. And those are usually our students who are on our access point standards. There's a little bit more info on career prep. There we go, we're advancing. So there's some areas of focus there just for your review, really focusing on employability skills, a lot of those soft skills, understanding your rights and benefits and responsibilities of being an employee. Those are all critical components of that course. Students can take that course multiple times and receive multiple credits. So many of our students on access points will take that course from 9th grade all the way through 12th grade and maybe even beyond into their post-secondary work after they've deferred graduation. So another thing that we work really hard on with all of our high schools and all of our students who are in that career prep opportunity is transition supports that exist on our high school campuses, but then also throughout the district. So every one of our high schools runs what we call a school-based enterprise. They're all a little bit different. We have anything from school stores to little coffee shops to kind of like soft line and hard line retail. Depending on what the school comes up with is what will best meet the needs of their students who are in the program, but also the students that are part of their student body community. Another thing that we've been working intensely on, we actually had a meeting right before this with Red Apple Dining, because we're revisioning a lot of our school stores so that we can really kind of meet the needs of all of our students and also work within the parameters of Red Apple Dining and work with them to help streamline some things for us, which we're really excited about. Another thing that we have, and I know some of our board members have visited, our Seminole Transition Achievement Center, the STAC, which used to be called the Iliad, but it's now the STAC, and we've revisioned that, and it looks amazing. Our students there work on independent living skills, so they have the opportunity to go on field trips as a class and do cooking lessons and independent living skill lessons where they learn how to do laundry and fold clothes and make beds and lots of those self-care skills that we're not able to replicate on each of our zone school campuses. And then finally, Teddy Graham Direct. Many of you guys may be familiar with that. That's our student-run business that we make stuffed animals. Our students make the stuffed animals, process the orders, write the cards, and help deliver those stuffed animals to the district office, to many schools throughout the district. They're kind of running a little business of like, okay, how are we going to get to all of these sites that want us to come? So it's become really popular, and we're excited about that opportunity for our students. So next, we just want to feature our job experience training. This is what most people are familiar with. It's often called JET. So that is an off-campus job skills training opportunity. So after students have worked in some of those transition support opportunities or in our on-campus opportunities through career prep, they're sort of eligible to participate in this opportunity off campus, where for 3 periods a day, our 12th grade students who are on access points will go to a community business site. A similar opportunity is what's called a work-based learning experience. It's structured pretty similarly to JET, but is open to different populations outside of that 12th grade window. So this is actually offered to our students who are also clients of vocational rehabilitation, and those students can be between the ages of 14 and 21 and have an IEP or a 504 plan. So it's a lot more broad, and with that comes opportunities to do some of that work after school hours, during the summer, during breaks. So if this doesn't fit into a student's schedule because they're in lots of classes and they're not a student who typically would take career prep, this is a good opportunity for them to get some job skills training. And just to feature some of our JET and WBLE business partners, because there are many, we tried to get as many of their logos onto this slide as we could, but we have for a very long time had the opportunity and pleasure to work with many of these businesses, such as Publix, such as the Central Florida Zoo. We also love when we can pull in some of our other SCPS departments to have our students placed in those businesses. So it's a really good opportunity for our students to contribute meaningfully to these businesses and also gain those job skills and really work experience that they then list on their resumes.
Good afternoon. Good. So to add on to the continuum of services that we provide here in Seminole County, we looked at bridging a gap for our students, and so we created a program called REACH. And what Project REACH is, it's a program where our students have graduated and they're in receipt of their diploma, so they have deferred their receipt of their diploma. So these students are able to participate in a year-long internship at Orlando Health, Allegro, and the Hilton, and where our students are working on those career skills, those soft skills that are transferable into any type of job. And so we created REACH because we saw there was a need for a gap before we hit our rigorous program called Project Search. And I think many of you are aware of Project Search. Project Search is a very intensive year-long internship in where we partner with Advent Health. We've been with Advent Health now for 12 years, and our students work in different departments at the local hospital. We are currently now supporting 3 of Advent Health's facilities. It's housed with 2 transition resource teachers, an employment specialist, as well as a job coach. We take 15 to 20 kids each year. Our students interview every year, and they get like an acceptance letter to say you've been accepted in this amazing program. Project Search and Advent Health have been working together now for 12 years, and you'll see on our next slide, we have now had for the last 4 or 5 years, and we're working on this year, 100% employability in our program. That means every student that leaves our program is left with a job. And that's our main goal here, if that's the goal for our students, and based on that student's IEP needs, is employability for all.
So a big layer to that, and expanding all of the opportunities that we have in creating this very healthy continuum that we have, is our relationship with vocational rehab. So in 2016, Seminole County Public Schools became a third-party cooperative agreement, which is called TPCA, partner with vocational rehab, and we offered a couple of camps and things like that, some what we called career exploration, where there were some classes that students were taking. And then at that point in 2018, after we'd done that for a while, vocational rehab kind of changed their perspective of how they were working with school districts and asked for school districts who were willing to volunteer to become vendors with vocational rehabilitation. And so we were one of the first school districts to be awarded that designation, and since then we have been able to expand our offerings, which has allowed us to expand reach, to really expand what we're doing with WBLE, which has been tremendous. And you'll see a list of just all of the services there that we're able to offer through and with vocational rehabilitation. Just to give you an example of what we're doing with WBLE in the summer. So last summer we used 7 business sites, which required us to have 7 staff members at those business sites, and then students participating in these programs at those 7 business sites completed a total of 68 20-hour rotations. And now we've gotten like pretty good at what we're doing and a little bit more efficient. And so this summer we were able to, with 8 sites, we're projecting to complete 180 20-hour rotations. So that's 180 work opportunities of 20 hours for each individual student that we've now impacted a tremendous number of students who maybe have time to do this during the school year, but most of our students that participate in a lot of our summer programs don't have time to do this in their schedule. And they're on a 504 or they're on an IEP and have a rigorous course schedule. So this gives them a great opportunity to have some meaningful summer experiences and prep them for job futures, which is exciting.
And so because of our amazing partnership with vocational rehabilitation, this year, the first time ever, we have been able to offer a career camp. And on top of the self-advocacy, resume writing, pre-employment training, we really wanted to infuse career and technical education into their scope and field. Many of our students, because of their schedules, are unable to participate in CTE courses. And so this year, in conjunction with working with some of our amazing CTE teachers, as well as our ESC teachers here within the district, we were able to provide career camp. And so this year, our career camp was held at 2 different high schools. We're at Lake Howell High School, where our students for the first week participated in culinary. And if you follow us on social media, you'll see all the great pictures and all the experiences that we've had. Our second week, they worked on cosmetology. Our third week, currently, they're working on barbering skills. And then next week, they'll be back in cosmetology as well. In conjunction with those, we wanted to to show students what that looks like outside of that classroom. And so we were then also able to visit different business sites that have these career fields where students can be like, oh my gosh, I can do this. I can get a job in this field. I didn't know I could, and it's been a great response to that offering. And so at Oviedo High School, the same thing, same career camp, but we offered different areas of focus. And so we have TV production there. We did culinary our second week. Currently, our kids in automotive. We learned how to calibrate tires today. And then next week, they will be back with TV production, and they're making some PSAs. And again, it's been a great opportunity for our students. West 2 News has hosted us, the Rosen Center and Taste of Curiosity here in Oviedo. And then we're going to the Daytona 500 experience again to connect the outside to the real world experiences for our students.
So what Felicia and I are most excited about is having you guys hear from someone besides us about this. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jasmine. We just met Jasmine. It seems like it was just like last week, but I think it was 2 weeks ago. And so Jasmine's going to tell you guys a little bit about her experience in our career camp. I think she's
on. Is she on? Okay. Hi, my name is Jasmine Chapin. I'm an incoming senior at Haggerty High School. Today, I will be discussing my experience with the Culinary Career Camp. Going into this camp, I just landed my first official job. Already going through the process of applying to jobs, creating a resume, and having an interview wasn't going to stop me from learning more. This camp taught me lessons and mistakes during the process of me getting my first job, but only to look back at amazing knowledge. In this camp, we were split up into 2 teams. One team would get hands-on activities, and the other team would have class time. During class time, we discussed important information attaining to not only getting a job, but making everyday decisions and effects that can have on a person. In both classroom time and hands-on, I learned that you can take different approaches to completing tasks in order to include others and to make them feel welcomed. This camp was such an amazing experience and learning opportunity. I thank all the staff who worked hard to put their effort into this to make it a lifetime experience. I especially want to thank Ms. Glass for allowing us to use her kitchen and the amazing recipes she had in store for us. Thank you.
My name is Tammy Glass. I'm the lead culinary instructor at Lake Howell High School. When we were planning this, we weren't really sure what to expect. Felicia had said hands-on, 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 but there's a lot of content you need to know as well for culinary. We are very strong in food safety and making sure that we're serving food that's safe for everybody. So, but we were able to do all of that with the hands-on. The kids, we freaked them out with glow germ. We came up with different strategies because there were a variety of abilities with all these students. We had 30 students. So different strategies we're having to use that I might use in my normal classroom, but I definitely need to use in this classroom. So just being able to manage if someone is autistic or has a hearing disability or things that made it a little bit more. But kids seem to have an amazing time. They finished with 4 days, and they all got a copy of the recipes. Really tried to infuse a lot into that 4 short days.
And I just have to say, I had the chance to visit one day Miss Glass's class, and I've been in your classroom before with our students often at Lake Howell who are mainstreamed into that classroom, so regular culinary class with a few students with disabilities. And Miss Glass has always done an exceptional job including those students and working with our ESE teachers. But to see her differentiate instruction and command participation from every single student in that classroom and scaffold for them so that they could communicate the way that they needed to when she's not an ESE teacher was remarkable. And I hope you're ready to work with our department a lot more. But it just truly has been tremendous, and to see many students that I know participating in this program when maybe no one thought this was something that they can do. It's just opened so many doors, and I think opened so many eyes to what our students with disabilities are capable of, and we're so grateful for that. Any questions?
Vice Chair.
No questions, just kudos to you all. What a great experience. If you ever want to make a cookbook and sell it, we'll buy it. Thank you.
Member Pennick.
Thank you for all you do for our students. It's amazing. I can't even describe how amazing it is, and you guys are over the top, so thank you so much.
Any other? Member Garrick.
I'm going to echo what my colleagues have said. Thank you all very much. And I want to just add a little bit. Last week I had the opportunity to sit and hear from our local Central Florida legislators, and we've got Representative Placencia's aide here, and one of the focuses of all of those folks was CTE, CTE, CTE. So this is such a beautiful presentation and one more example of how Seminole County is leading the way for CTE for students with all abilities. So thank you very much for all that you do, and thank you for being here tonight.
Member Davis.
So much. Glad that we had one of your students. Thank you for teaching classes like this, autistic, and I know that emotionally handicapped program, I mean, you have a vast variety of abilities. Very hard to, sounds like, I did have one question.
Dr. Shores, I think our new board members haven't seen the building yet, so we'll need to make sure they get a chance to go see that. I am just truly grateful for opportunities for all of our students. Thank you. Tammy Glass, I'm not surprised. She always goes above and beyond. So grateful to have these options for our students. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I don't know. It's now time for board items for discussion. Vice Chair Sanchez?
Actually, for committee report or
No.
just nothing? I have nothing. Thank you.
She's on island time.
I'm
I have
still
to,
on island
I
time,
have
sorry.
to admit. Member Pennick?
I have none.
Member Davis? Member Garrick?
None at this time, thank
And I
you.
don't either. So now we're up to public comments. If you, Vice Chair, if you could.
Sure. Policies 0169.1, public participation at board meetings. The purpose of public participation segments of the board meeting is to allow the public to address matters with the board's jurisdiction and not to resolve grievances, individual grievances, or disputes. Public comments related to education, the board agenda, and the district are welcome and encouraged, but public comment segments are not forums to engage in personal attacks against the school system, employees, or board members. To maintain orderly conduct, the public comment segments of the meeting may not be used as open forums to discuss matters unrelated to education, to support or oppose candidates for public office, including presentation of political and/or campaign issues, announcing candidacy or campaigning, or to engage in commercial speech attempting to sell a service or product to the board or the public. Nor are they forums to address matters involving disciplinary actions of any kind, pending claims, complaints, or litigation against the district or district personnel. Public comments segment durations are as follows. Agenda items limited to 3 minutes. One group, maximum of 6 minutes. Speaker must remain on topic for agenda item. Non-agenda items limited to 2 minutes. Speaker shall direct their comments to the board members and may not address the audience or other speakers. No speaker may yield his or her time to any other person. Generally, substitutions of speakers will not be allowed. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 2 speakers signed up for agenda item topics, Jessica Tillman and Nina Sandberg. If you would like to make your way towards the podium, please.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Tillman. I am representing Moms for Liberty, Seminole County. It is disappointing the district continues to ignore part of the state statute. Agenda item BI, Student Progression Plan, states in order to enroll in SCPS, you must have an updated DH 680 form, but fails to mention DH 681. Is also an option to satisfy this requirement. Why exclude this? I have toured many schools in the area, and every time it is brought up in the private schools that the staff simply mention 680 and 681. This is transparency for the parents. Failing to mention both options is a failure to transparency for SCPS families. Let parents make these choices. I would also like to see a limit added to how many credits a high school student can recover by Plato's Lab. We need to ensure students are getting their full education, not a watered-down version just to get them to pass. Do we not hold our district to the highest level? The Student Discipline Code talks about safety and security. The Guardian program is a wonderful program that adds one more set of eyes on the kids. When the Guardian program was first passed, the previous sheriff stated, we do not need Guardian program because we have SROs in every school, and we do a great job of keeping weapons on campus. I think over the last few years, we can all agree we are not doing a good job of keeping weapons off campus. Flagler County is voting on the Guardian program as we speak. Every county that touches Seminole has this program in place. Their sheriff was quoted saying, as long as it's not replacing SROs, and that's exactly what we're asking in Seminole County, that he agrees with the program. So why not here? I went to the Hernando School Board meeting a few weeks ago, and they had a guardian there monitoring the line to get in. He wasn't scary. He wasn't carrying an AR. He had a holster with one gun, and he was clearly marked as a guardian. If you require extra training above and beyond what the state statute says. This program is not arming teachers. This is a community member who goes through the training. We have Seminole County residents who are guardians in other counties. Please add other counties to your meeting who have implemented it. I'm really disappointed you left the safe harbor provision. This provision does not discourage students from bringing weapons to school. We also agree discipline is an issue. I was listening to the board workshop this afternoon, and I have to agree we need to get students off their devices. I do believe this is part of what is causing discipline issues. My daughter doesn't have a smartphone. She can text, call, take pictures, and she still sits staring at her phone. I wish we could go back to when we were growing up without the internet. We should also have a conversation about district-wide uniforms. When you teach kids to dress for the job they want, not the job they have, they learn better and engage more. Or, at the very least, encourage principals to implement uniforms. I know we have a few schools that have them, and they are very successful. I do like the addition of the personal technology in the discipline code. We all need to be aware of how much time we are spending on screens. I was reviewing the changes to the American flag policy. I would like to see the district expand this policy to only allow the American flag, state flag, or other country flags in appropriate times. I know our districts nationwide have implemented this, and it helps with creating a welcoming learning environment for all. We also want field trips for all students. It is not fair to allow some schools field trips and others not. Thank you.
Thank you. Nina Sandberg.
I'm Nina Sandberg. When school starts, every grade level at every school, except for schools such as Journeys, needs to decide where it will take the kids for an academic field trip. This is supposed to happen at the beginning of every school year, and each grade level at each school is supposed to choose a field trip destination for that grade. And just so you know, no one is very excited about the Environmental Center and its mud walk. You are not supposed to be leaving it up to individual teachers and schools about whether or not the kids get a field trip. When I was an SCPS student, I often got 2 field trips per year. Now my own children get 0 field trips per year in the same school system. It is not supposed to be a crapshoot that depends on whether or not you get assigned to a teacher or a school that does field trips. The board and superintendent need to take positive action to fix this problem. Thousands of SCPS students have had no field trip at all since either 2019 or 2020. Also, all juniors in SCPS need to be given prom. If all the juniors and seniors at any given high school cannot fit in the same room for a prom, then the school needs to do the old-fashioned thing and have separate junior and senior proms. SCPS high school students should not be robbed of prom and also should not be denied entrance into their own proms. The PE department at every elementary and middle school is supposed to plan an on-campus field day, and all students in grades K through 8 are supposed to be given field day each spring. I was given the excuse that there is not enough money to pay for the poor children to go on field trips. I do not know if I buy that excuse because there are 6 big screen TV sets on the walls in the Oviedo High School front office. Stop wasting money on things like extra big screen TV sets for no reason and custom trash cans that have the school name on them, and give the children their field trips. I advocate for all students and for things that you should be doing anyway. Thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation regarding student discipline hearings?
Yes, that the School Board of Seminole County approve the student disciplinary recommendations from May 30th, 2023 and June 5th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. We have no unfinished business, no new business. Superintendent, do you have a report?
My report is included in the book and is read-only, but I do have a couple of announcements that,
Okay.
with the approval of the consent agenda, Dr. Anna Marie Cody will be joining us once again as our interim deputy superintendent. And she's in the back, and welcome back, Dr. Cody. I am also pleased to announce that NESPRA, which is the leader in school communications since 1935, works with a number of professionals throughout the U.S., Canada, and the U.S. Department of Defense Education Activity schools. They have awarded to Seminole County 3 awards. Our communications team will receive at the conference here in Missouri. No, we're going to St. Louis. There we are. 3 different awards for publications and digital media excellence, and we are one of the only districts in Florida to receive a communications award in one category. So I want to say congratulations.
The only public school?
The only. So we'll be bringing back lots of hardware.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Catherine and team.
Yes, all
That's
3 will
fabulous.
be awarded later in the summer, and we'll bring that back to y'all.
Excellent.
And then finally, I would just want to say congratulations to Principal Michael Howard, who received the Varsity Brands 2023 Spirited Principal Award. And congratulations, Mr. Howard, somewhere out there in the sphere.
Well deserved. He's probably carrying his stick somewhere around. Congratulations. Okay, it's now time for board committee updates. Vice Chair Sanchez.
I don't have any updates on any committees, but we did have our Florida School Board Association conference about, 2 weeks ago, I guess, a week and a half ago. And it was phenomenal. All of us were there, and we took a lot of information back with us and learned a lot. and got a chance to speak to many of our colleagues. I chair the Central Florida School Board Coalition, so we had a nice breakfast, and the 14 districts that surround Central Florida, we get together on a regular basis via Zoom, but they're also open to the public. So anytime we have a meeting, we don't have our next meeting until next month, you all are more than welcome to join in and listen to any of the different discussions and topics that we have. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Member Pennick.
I have no committee updates.
Thank you. Member Davis.
Yes, I just wanted to remind you about the Seminole Children's Cabinet. They're out there. It's a mental health month, and they have a list of all of the resources that you would possibly need if you need information about mental health issues. Again, they also have all of the resources that you need for anything a child may need. They're listed on there, so it's a great place for research, for resources. I don't have any update on the SHAC committee, so yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Member Garrick.
I had just a couple of things to talk about. Next Thursday is the District 2 in Sanford resource meeting that's hosted at the Velma Williams Center. It's always a great resource. You can attend in person or watch online. And then next Friday is a big food giveaway. So if we've got some folks out there that are that have food insecurity, please reach out. We're happy to put you in touch with folks that can get you food over the summer. And then this afternoon, I had the opportunity to be a guest at the Retired Educators of Seminole County Luncheon. And retired educator Queen Esther Jones had a message of inspiration. So I'm going to read just an abbreviated version of her wish for the summer. To all the educators out there, surround yourself with positive influences. When negative thinkers, images, or materials surround you, it is easy to get bogged down in hopelessness. Read inspiring books and blogs. Listen to motivational podcasts and speakers. Attend positive thinking seminars. And make it a point to read, watch, or listen to something positive and inspiring at least once every day.
Thank you very much. I had 2 meetings, Community Alliance. As many of you may know, Child Protective Services is now being transferred to DCF, which our district, Sheriff Lima and his team have created a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, so that we don't lose any of the good things that we have in Seminole County. And I could think that they want to make sure there's no lapse in services for our kiddos. Right now, the transition date is scheduled for August 11th. And then I also attended, Dr. Tina Calderon, our former board member, has been a devoted board member of the Orlando Science Center for probably 8 or 9 years. She was here earlier, but she left. So she was thanked for her service on the Science Center, facilitated a meeting for me to attend, and I was appointed to the new Science Center board. So my first meeting will be August 12th. So we can continue that partnership with STEM education, and that's how we're part of why we're #1 in the state of Florida. That concludes my report. It is now time for public comments, non-agenda items. And each speaker will have 2 minutes. I'm going to call the first 3 speakers, Mr. H. Alexander Duncan, followed by Cheryl Bryant, followed by Jessica Tillman.
Hey guys, you want me to say I'm H. Alexander Duncan. I'm just here to talk to y'all about the bus stops again, because that's just my thing right now, and I promise to be focused. So one of my things is the county commission overall has been a bit more open with keeping us publicly updated. I know some of you guys have been pretty open with me about you guys moving this along. So I do appreciate that. But one thing I'm asking for now is like for you guys to say a little bit more about it publicly, you know what I'm saying? That's one. And then so moving forward, hopefully you guys will be working with the county commission a little closer. And I just want people to hear it from the school board a little bit, because I think that's where they're most concerned. We know the sheriff office plays their role. We know the school board has their role. We know the county commission ultimately has to rewrite the ordinance. But since it is school buses, the general public just assumes the totality is with you guys, and that's understandable, right? So that's all I came to say. Just make sure you guys know I'm staying focused, and okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Cheryl Bryant, followed by Jessica Tillman, followed by Evelyn Euro.
Hello,
Hi,
Board.
good
Thanks for having me today. My name is Cheryl Bryant. Excuse my voice, I've been a little bit under the weather. There has been a consistent problem for years of sexual predator and offender compounds near school bus stops and recreation centers in Midway and other neighborhoods in Seminole County. Seminole County Code of Ordinance, Chapter 228, says that sexual offenders and predators are prohibited from residing within 1,000 feet of schools, daycares, parks, or playgrounds. It seems like a no-brainer to add school bus stops and rec centers to this list. People in these neighborhoods spend a lot of time at rec centers, and they're very significant for the community and for these children. Although the board does not write or codify county code, the board and the county do and must cooperate, and we know this. In lieu of state-level legislation, we respectfully request that, starting with Midway, the bus stops are relocated when necessary to be more than 1,000 feet from sexual offender and predator compounds. We will be taking this before the county and are charging you to lead this and to keep the students safe from predation. Thank you so much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Jessica Tillman, followed by Evelyn Euro, followed by Raquel Molino.
I'm Jessica Tillman. I guess I could have just added this in my 6 minutes because I didn't even use it all. But anyway, we do want you to be more transparent on speaking to the public about what is going on with Midway and where you are in the conversations with the Sheriff's Department and the County Commission. This ordinance is almost 20 years old, so I think that it is in our best interest to revisit this, make sure that we are treating all of our kids like they matter, and really just keep them safe from their bus stops. I worked at Safe Harbor Recreation Center. I can't remember the full name of it. I'm sorry. But I went there on a weekly basis for quite some time, teaching them about nutrition, and I saw the neighborhoods. I saw these houses. So it really is important to really do a deep dive on this, really work on making this transparent to the community, and let's really get these kids a safe place that they feel comfortable going to their bus stop. Thank you.
Thank you. Evelyn Euro, followed by Raquel Molino, followed by Nina Sandberg.
Afternoon, how are you guys?
Hi.
My name is Evelyn Euro, and I currently attend Park Vista High School in Palm Beach County. Mental health, a topic that many people shy away from. Mental health is so crucial, and somehow public schools don't talk much about it. Suicide rates keep increasing, and thousands of children are dying by suicide. Suicide is the third leading cause of death of young people between the ages 15 and 24. So many children suffer in silence. I have suffered in silence. According to CDC, nearly half of LGBTQ+ students in 2021 seriously considered attempting suicide. Schools need more mental health resources and need to be a safe place for all. This world is full of hate. Let love conquer, not hate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Raquel Molino, followed by Nina Sandberg. Hi, good evening.
Good evening. My anxiety is kicking in, so I apologize because every time I speak about the ESE department and I listen to all the stuff that they say about the ESE department, I get more disappointed. It's unbelievable the stuff that's being said over here, and it's not, a lot of it's not true. It's not true. You guys are all familiar with this, with everything my daughter went through when she was in school, and it's not just my daughter. A lot of ESE kids went through a lot of bullying, retaliation, while parents were advocating for their ESE kids in the IEP meetings. I still can't believe that the teacher that abused and the teacher's aide that abused, mistreated my child is still teaching at Lyman High School. Why aren't you guys focusing on stuff like that and doing something about it instead of just coming to the school board meeting and lying about it? This topic is very disappointing, and it really gets to me. Every time I come here, I want to speak about something, and I end up saying the same thing to you guys because it's so disappointing to see how much lies are being said by administrators, leadership here in Seminole County. This has to stop. ESE department still needs to be fixed. But first, we need to replace a lot of administrators and leadership in Seminole County before that can change and improve. There's a lot of corruption here, but I'm not here to discuss about corruption. I'm here to make a change, a positive change in the ESE department, and I hope that happens soon.
Your time has
because I'm fed up with
expired.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Sandberg?
I second everything she said. I'm Nina Sandberg. For over a year and a half, select Democrat Party operatives have been telling slander, defamation, and lies during school board public comment about local non-Democrats for political purposes. They have been telling this slander about people who they do not even know in order to score cheap political points and to affect our elections. These particular Democrats are trying to ruin the lives of local non-Democrats who they do not even know by doing character assassination smear jobs during public comment at board meetings. Shame on our school board for allowing them to do this to parents of special needs children, Christians, Jews, parents groups, and school board members. Last summer, they also targeted school board candidates for character assassinations as well. At least one school board candidate was even physically threatened while she was with her children, in addition to being character assassinated. For at least a year and a half, I've been watching select members of the Rainbow SEMDEMs use public comment time to tell lies about people who I actually know. At the last board meeting, this LGBTQ group jeered and heckled a conservative transgender woman while she was speaking and made rude hand gestures towards her. They also deliberately misgendered her and used the wrong pronoun. So much for tolerance, love, and compassion. Some of them also wore Satan t-shirts and verbally insulted Christians and Jews in the room. Some of them told lies about the moms of special needs children who are in Moms for Liberty. The Rainbow SEMDEMs have become a hate group that is very similar to the Ku Klux Klan. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our public comment. And as promised, Vice Chair, you can go back to island time. Any other comments? Yes. Go ahead, Member.
Superintendent, would it be appropriate to share Mr. Wolski's report with the public?
Well, certainly, Mr. Wolski, if you would please come to the podium to give a kind of a debrief on the meeting that did happen and as it relates to Midway.
Oh, thank you.
In the county. Thank you.
Good evening, Chair Kraus, board members, Superintendent Beeman. I apologize I don't have my notes in front of me, but I'll be glad to kind of what I can recall and share of our meeting. So back in May, there was a concern shared regarding the Midway bus stops. So we did meet with the Commissioner Herr, County Manager Mr. Gray, Sheriff, Undersheriff, Captain Fortenberry, who's our Director of School Safety Security, several other captains, several other members of the Sheriff's Department, myself, Ms. Cole Palmer, and Mr. McKenzie, our Director of Transportation, to kind of review the concerns and go over the concerns. So, and in this, you know, at least for my approach, was not for or against changes in the ordinance, because as a school district, for us, school safety is number one, and you know, we'll make happen what needs to make happen. So one of the concerns was that we had bus stops in front of homes, residents of the sexual predators or offenders. And what we do, I'll kind of explain what we do with our bus stops. Beginning of the year, all of our routes, all of our stops, we share that with our school safety security team. Those then are shared with a division within the Sheriff's Department. They have a map overlay of where these individuals live within the county. They do that map overlay where our bus stops are. Then they communicate back to us if we should recommendations of changing stops. Realizing for us, as it was shared earlier, in the current county ordinance, there isn't a requirement regarding bus stops. There's no state statute requiring bus stops, but it's something the school district goes above and beyond if we were to have a stop and actually in front of our residents. So we did that for Midway. We did not have any stops in front of these residents. We also provided the stops for the rest of the district, just again to ensure that we did not have any stops in front of these residents. So we typically do this every start of every school year once we have those stops in place. So there was a lot of good discussion. I think we met for at least 2 hours. We also discussed, I know from a district perspective, things that we are going to do, again, is ensuring that as we add stops throughout the year, change stops, we'll make sure we'll be sharing those stops with the School Safety Security Department before we formalize or finalize the stops. What's nice too, part of our transportation GPS routing system, we are now also able to kind of take that map overlay that the Sheriff's Department has and import it into our system. Again, for us, that's kind of an initial process of making sure that we aren't thinking of putting a stop in a particular place. But even then, again, before we go to make that a final stop, we're going to run it through our team with the Sheriff's Department. I was highly impressed with our sheriff and the leadership and the team. Many of our leadership there are very aware and knowledgeable of the Midway community and the steps that they take, again, above and beyond what is required, making door-to-door visits of individuals and really going above and beyond to ensure that our students and residents are safe. So I would say, without all my notes, that's kind of the
That's pretty good recollection. Yes, Member
To
Penny.
be clear, we're not just focusing on Midway on this issue. It is an entire county-wide review.
Oh,
and
yes.
It's not just a Midway issue.
Yes,
So
ma'am. So yes,
Thank
very
you.
clear. We did look at Midway first, but once we got that resolved, then we, again, the whole district, again, just another review. But we do this each and every year. It's part of our normal process.
And regarding the language in the ordinance, is that the county's ordinance?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So
that
I'll tell
they-
you too, we did discuss about, because scenarios, at least on our side of it, is if there was a change in the ordinance and included bus stops and different levels of feet. And so I did run some scenarios of that just to see how it would impact bus stops. So we would have, here's the sad part, we would have to have students, bus stops, students could be potentially walking over 2 miles to a bus stop, which again, that's not, for us statutorily, that we cannot do that. And there was a very difficult, I know there was concerns about students walking past residents. And again, looking at the different stops within, again, just kind of focusing on Midway for this exercise. We have communities, smaller subdivisions where one road in and then kind of a circle around where there may be a residence right at the front entrance of the community. No matter what you do, students are walking past that residence. Again, thinking that, this is just not a morning and afternoon bus stop situation. This is an everyday that students are in the community. And again, our hands down to our law enforcement just for the what they are doing each and every day just within the community. So we looked at that as well. Again, how would it impact? Again, we're going to find a way to make it work, but there is an impact to where either we're putting bus stops on very busy roads, stopping traffic on potentially 46, but regardless of how we were trying to do the routes, kids are still walking by some of these residents, but we do not have stops in front of a residence of these individuals.
And if I may, we know that you did this deep dive because of some concerns that we had heard from community members, but it's my understanding that there has never been a complaint from parents or students involving the bus stops in this particular issue. Is that true?
So here's what I can, to make sure I speak. I know there has never been a law enforcement incident regarding that. And then to my recollection, again, I don't, a complaint, we way our record systems that we have, there's no way for us to track or go back, so I wouldn't say there's never been, but not to my recollection that we've had one.
And if there is a concern, should a parent or community member reach out to transportation or reach out to the district? Or
So we do get we do get concerns.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, most of our concerns is stops in front of residents that don't have children. Because the kids are congregating on our yard, they leave trash on the yard and such things like that. And then we'll even try to move stops then for that purpose. Again, trying to best serve our students, best serve our community as well.
Thanks for explaining the process.
Thank you. Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for being here.